What is up, guys? Tony here with BT-12 Games, and today, oh, the camera's wobbling. There we go. We're here to talk about some Imperialdramon for BT-12. Back in the BT-8, this deck was pretty fire. It, hit with a whole lot of jamming and just, drew a bunch of cards and, yeah, just, smacked face. And I'm hoping with all the new support we got here now, which focuses more on DNA digivolving, so you can pass turn and go up and do all those shenanigans still, gain memory back, and then keep turn. And you're still slapping cheeks on your opponent with all the Beelzemon, Wargraves, and Hunter decks that are running out there right now. There's a whole lot of Digimon, so the security is free to us. But before we get to the deck profile and all its goodiness, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and don't forget our pro site, www.geeklegigames.com, for all your singles for Digimon, Magic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh! And without further ado, let's get with the deck profile. Alright, you guys, starting with the eggs. Running 4 copies of the new Demi Vmon here. When attacking, if you have a green Digimon on the field, draw a card. I think this is pretty easy to proc. I mean, so is the other eggs. So is this one. We got the old Demi Vmon here. This requires you to have jamming to draw a card, which the new Vmon has jamming, it's inheritable, which passes on to our entire stack. Or we have the EX1 Vmon, which has hard jamming on that end, it's inheritable. So you can run this as well. You can do a split here, however you want to. You also can run the Waimon. Arguably, this is the best blue egg to have. I think still in Blue Flare, which, EX4, that deck's going to be cracked, and I don't think this deck might see much play after that, because Blue Flare is just cracked, like, it's out of its mind, it's really good. So this egg is just powerful, but I think in this list, this egg is a no-go. I mean, you can run it, it's up to your preference. Any of these egg combinations you can do, so there you go. But we are running the new Demi Digimon. We also have screwed around with the lights, and we dimmed it down by hovering up with a towel. That's all it took. So if you do find a glare, I may find one to do this video, whatever. Point it out, and I see if I can fix it there. But anyway, back to the video. Running 4 new copies of the Vmon here for BT-12. Reveal top 3 cards, find a free in its traits or an Imperial, and a Davis. So now we have a tamer. We have a rookie that finds us our pieces and our tamers. We're running 8 Davises. 2 of them are with Ken. So this can pretty much find it in the early game. You want to be slamming these guys out as much as possible, and has the sweet inheritable for end of your turn DNA. Which, I love Mastamon to death, but, right now it's just not really sitting in a good place. But at least for blue-green and for how aggro it can be, whatever, I think we have a shot here. Speaking of DNA, we are running 3 Wormons here, and I know probably people are like, man, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. This card's bad, just play something else. Hear me out. We need to find our pieces to be as consistent as possible. Searching, always finding your pieces. I mean, like, sure, like, people can argue, like, having more cards in your hand is great, but if you're drawing dead cards and not actually searching your pieces, there's a big gap in you winning and losing the game. So having the ability to, I mean, this won't find you Davis, it finds you Ken, but we do have 2 Davis in Ken, so like this can find us a tamer. But if you're looking for Davises, like either one of the old one or the new one, I would not recommend playing this out, because if you whiff on those, you're done. You need at least 1 or 2 of each one of those Davises before having the Davis Ken out. But it does the same exact thing as this. Obviously, it finds us Ken, but it still finds us our pieces. Anyway, more Vmon to search pieces. You can see here that all of our rookies here are searching because we want to find our pieces. Sometimes you can open up any of these and have a shit hand, but if you have all rookies, whatever, you can find your pieces and unbrick yourself. Look at the top 3 cards, pull a free. For free. I had to do it, I'm sorry. I've seen that TurboTax commercial and all the sayings free, and we're playing a deck full of free traits. Look at the top 3 cards and pull a free trait in our Imperialdramon, which is basically our entire deck, so you're not going to whiff on it. And then lastly, we have a Vmon right here that looks at the top 4 cards and only pulls a 2-color card. So this can find us the Dual Tamer, it can find us any of our level 5s and 6s that we need, and it can pull Megadeth. Yes, the best option in our deck here, this card can pull. But yeah, this is our rookies. We're running 13 of them, 13 searchers. I don't think it's bad. But do let me know in the comments below if you think I'm different, you know, because I know some people are out there running the jamming Vmon. You're going to be digivolving all the time, so I don't see why you're playing with that anyway, but, you know me. Running 2 copies of Old Stingmon and EX Vmon, because we need to have the new ones in here, unfortunately, but we're at least having some copies of this card, at least in here. So, play cost 3, because we're most likely going to have a blue Digimon on the field all the time, so this will be a 3 cost. Inheritable is when attacking, draw a card. So when we get into Imperialdramon, we're going to be drawing 2 cards off on this because there's never, there's not a when, once per turn, so we can draw multiple cards. I have swung 3 times and drawn 3 cards off. This is great. And then we have just hard jamming on both sides here, which is really nice. What we really needed is piercing, so we're running 3 copies of Stingmon, what we didn't have in BT-8. This card's really good, that's why we're running just a little bit more than this one. Because we want that piercing, because we do a lot of suspending when we're climbing up into our ranks, when we're doing a full combo. So being able to, with the level, our new levels 5 Dino B, it can suspend, and then we go up to our new Imperial, it also can suspend. So if we're able to unsuspend and swing and all that, and get all these piercing checks, whatever, we're clearing the board, and we're being aggro at the same time. So that's why we're running 3 copies of this. And also, when it's your turn, you're able to DNA, you gain a memory. So effectively, you can slam this down for 4, go ahead and DNA, and you gain a memory back. So it's effectively a 3 cost. But if you have this guy on the field too, which we're running 3 copies of, it does the exact same thing as Stingmon here. When you go into DNA, gain a memory, this is a 2 cost. Same thing with this guy right here. So like, if you have like both these out right here, you pass turn, or it's still your turn, whatever, with 1 memory or 0 memory, you go ahead and DNA, get 2 memory. There's a whole bunch of shenanigans you can do. But this is our level 4 lineup, 10 copies. On to our level 5s, which is, the meat of the deck. I'm going to talk about Imperialdramon here. Running 3 copies of this guy. You can run 4. Excuse me, we are taking in the new Imperialdramon here, which we'll just throw out here right now. Let's get them out here. This is the new Imperialdramon, both at 8K. Both can Digivolve on 4 or DNA for 0 if you have your requirements. This one here is the most aggro of them all, alongside with the new Dino B. When DNA Digivolving, you can bottom deck a 6K Digimon, and yeah, that's it. So they have a level 4 out there. They're waiting to climb to level 5s, whatever, like Hunters, whatever. They're Astramon. You can go ahead and just say, bye, put it away, tuck it away forever. Can't see it. Just, they lose their sources and whatever. And this can swing twice by, when attacking, unsuspend this Digimon. Doesn't have an inheritable. It's basically run up on here. They can do all that, which is pretty cool. And then the new Imperialdramon here, basically when you're DNA Digivolving, and this is the toolbox part, because this can go along with Machinedramon, Hunters, War Greymon, because they actually count for their inheritables, and you can strip 3 of them on every single one of their Digimon, but only 2 of them without sources can't attack. It is unfortunate. They can block, they just can't attack. So like, if they have a board full of, Itmons, if this was Beelzemon, whatever, you can snipe away one whole stack with all of its trash abilities, whatever, just completely gut it, and then stun it. It's pretty good. Pretty good. And it has a really cool inheritable too, end of attack, and it's not a once per turn. If you have Imperialdramon in its name or free in its trades, you can gain a memory. So imagine if like all the unsuspending we can do and just gaining memory back, which is huge. And not a lot of people are playing mem blockers anymore because of Beelzemon, because basically if they're taking in Nat just for that, they have the Warp Intmon that literally takes care of it with 0 effort. So free range. So then we're going to the new Dino Beamon here, which this one has when Digivolve, you can suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, gain 3,000, and Blitz. Even though it doesn't say Blitz, it says this Digimon can attack this turn. So if you give you a pass turn somehow when you're DNAing, you don't gain the memory back, you can still swing with this. And then if you have the new Davis out, you go ahead and creep up to your level 6, whatever. And if you're somehow able to gain enough memory, it's awesome. I mean, and then the once per turn, your turn, whatever, inheritable. When the Digimon deletes a Digimon, go ahead and trash the security. Never in blue is able to do that. I mean, green can do it, but blue has never done that, which is neat. But this will be all of our level 5. You can customize this any way you like. If you want to go full aggro, you don't have to play these two. You can go ahead and max these out at 4 and 4, which I have thought about sometimes, but a lot of people in my store are playing like a lot of decks that require sources, whatever, so that's why we're teching in the Imperialdramon. But if your store is completely like balls to the wall, trying to win the game, whatever, and then you just have to be that much faster, you can go ahead and take those two out. For the level 6s, we're running 3 copies of the new Imperialdramon. Dragon mode here. This has a when it Digivolve, and you can unsuspend this if it's got blue, and obviously it's got green, you can go ahead and suspend something. Cool. All that you do right there. Then, it has a end of attack. You may Digivolve this into an Imperialdramon in its name from your hand. If you're doing so, reduce the cost by 2. So, this guy right here, which we're running 2 copies of, is a free Evo. So I'm going to get out the new Davis out real quick, right? There's this guy right here. Oh, there's the glare. So we did not negate this bottom right. Right in the middle here is a no-fly zone. So we'll hide it right here. So we got the new Davis guy right here, right? So this really works either with the new, old Imperialdramon and the new Dinobemon. You're going to go ahead and swing. So if this was Imperialdramon for a second, you swing on suspend swing. When you swing the second time, you're going to activate this. Go into this guy. Do more suspending and restand this Digimon. You're going to go ahead and swing whatever, jamming. Then, end of attack, you're going to Digivolve in this guy for free. Because it's already a Digivolve cost for 2. So what you're doing here is just making it 0. So you're going to go ahead and Digivolve into this guy for free. Still going to be unsuspended. And then what this guy does, this guy's got a lot of text, so we're going to bring it up right here. And we're going to, I think it's about as clear as it's going to get, so bear with. When Digivolving, suspend all your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution sources. That's fine. Sometimes, you know, they just hard playing stuff, whatever. But sometimes you can get this off too. So they have a couple Digimon that are suspended with sources. Here's what you can do. By putting this card, it's a little blurred out. By taking this card, there we go, back into your hand from the sources, anything that is suspended gets shipped to the bottom. So as long as they don't have any kind of protection that prevents them from leaving play, you are board wiping the board. As long as you're able to put this away. I have talked to multiple judges, and you can do that, even if there's sources. But if you're not putting this card, now I gotta focus back out. There we go. If you're not putting this card back in your hand, then the only thing you can do is bottom deck anything without sources. And then it has all turns. It's got blocker and security plus if it's got 2 or more colors. And it also gains 2,000 DP. So it's a pretty beefy guy. But not, you know, it's not beefy enough to go against Wargrave, but for everything else, it's there. And then we got 1 copy of the OG, not really OG, but, you know, the structured deck Dragon Mode. Dragon Mode. Imperialdramon Dragon Mode, there we go. We have the when Digivolve, and you're able to split any green level 4 or blue or lower from the source for free, and all their on-play effects happen. Some people say this card's bad. I still think it's still good, because with all the memory game you get, and we have, you know, not Ice Wall. Ice Wall doesn't give us memory. I mean, it does in security, but we have our Hammer Sparks, right? And we are able to keep turning with this, even if we go into with, like, we're doing the swing here, whatever, we still have Davis and Ken, so we can unsuspend this. We spit 2 things out. If you have already a bunch of level 4, level 5s in your hand, and you spit out 2 level 4s, you go ahead and DNA. If it's still your turn, you can go ahead and keep the pain train going. That's basically our OTK for BT-8 if no one's really played this and are looking at it right now. That this was the main way of like trying to kill somebody. So like you go on your stack, you swing, restand with this with Davis Ken, had enough memory, spit 2 level 4s out, go into Imperialdramon, swing again, go into another one of this, and if somehow you still have enough memory, spit it and do it again. So we can still do that in this deck here, but some people just don't like the card, but we are running it, and we've done it, and then made people cry. But that'll be it for all of our Digimon. We're going into our Tamers now, which you know what the first 3 are. Well, you only saw 1, but we're running 3 copies of this new Davis. I may try to tag in the fourth one because this is the one Davis you actually want to see. Having multiples out is great, but you hypothetically just need 2 out. 1's fine, 2 is great. Any more than that, you're just only gaining memory at that point. But at start of your main phase, if you have a Digimon free in its traits or can gain a memory. So even if you have a Digimon in Ken, you're only just gaining 1. It's just teching for both to make sure you're going to gain a memory. And then it has your turn when attacking. And when your 2-color Digimon or a 2-color blue Digimon attacks, by suspending this tamer, you may Digivolve that Digimon with a card name Imperialdramon in its name from your hand for its cost. So it could be the level 6 here, it could be the fighter mode for all we know, and then there you go. You want to just do with this though. This is the main target. If you don't have this and you have the OG one, that is completely fine. It's a warp Digivolve for 4. When you're starting out, whatever, you're gonna have 4 memory or even more. So even with that 4 play Digivolve cost, you'll still be fine. Moving on with our tamers, running 3 copies of the Memory Tamer Davis here. This one is able to look at the top 3 cards of our deck and draw 2. More often than not, when you play this, you are most likely going to draw 2 cards out of it, which is really great. It's what you want to do. If you pull a bunch of 2-color Digimon, just make sure this one's blue and this one's green, yada yada, you tell your opponent all that fun stuff. Then lastly for our tamers, running 2 copies of the Davis Ken. This one here, start of your turn, as long as we have a blue Digimon, we'll gain a memory, and a green Digimon, I'll gain another memory. So if you have a 2-color 1 Digimon on the field, this will give you 2 memory for sure, because it's checking for blue and green. If you have a 2-color out, there you go. So if you have each one of these out, you gain 2 from 3, you go to 5, and you go to 6 memory. So if you have each one of these out there with pushing out, and if that one's a 2-color Digimon, or you have a 2-level Digimon out there that's blue and green, excuse me, I'm a little gassy today, you're going to be starting out with 6 memory, which is huge. I don't think at that point, all this combo you're doing with this, going your level 6s, whatever, you're not going to pass turn at all. That would be it for our tamers. We're getting to the last of the goodies, and we're just going to throw out there our 2 Megadeths. This is probably the best blue-green option you can get for 5 cost to suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, and then ship a suspended Digimon to their hand. Very great security bomb, and playing this for 5 memory to just time walk them is okay too. They got 1 Digimon that's going to threaten lethal whatever you play this, if you have Davis Ken. That's also the reason why we're also playing Davis Ken. Because if we don't have a cards out in the field, whatever, we don't have green, but we have a ton of blue, and we have this in hand, it feels bad. So that's why we got the Davis Ken. So once those are out there, this becomes live. Up next, I have that, running 3 copies of the Hammer Sparks. More, you hit this in security, gain 2 memory. It feels bad for your opponent, but it feels really good for you. And then for more salt, just Ice Ball. That's the exact same thing as out of security. But, you can be like, I got game next turn. You might too, but I'm going to put you to 1, and you're going to have to try to figure it out or beat me with that 1 attack. Not bad. So this is the deck profile for BT-12 Imperialdramon. Hope you guys like it. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. I do read comments. I do take advices, all your opinions, I should say, into account. And I like to, mix it up a little bit. But this is let's say a rough draft. I think, this might be the build. I keep testing it out with my girlfriend, and she keeps stomping it left and right. So we're going to check this deck tonight for sure, see how it does. I'll put down in the comments as well if, it's just still a nutty deck to beat. Because right now, Imperialdramon is the deck to beat right now. And if you haven't seen it in the little box in the right or left-hand corner, I keep forgetting where it comes up on. Do check that profile out. That deck is pretty fire, and it's still kicking ass. But I don't want to keep rambling on all day. We'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to get your geek on.